Hi guys, and welcome to this video. Today we will interview Marcella Respo from IMD Business School. We're going to talk about the MBA, full-time MBA program of IMD. And we're gonna ask her a lot of questions about the MBA, what differentiates this MBA, the admission process, the essays, the GMAT, the profile they accept, and the loans and the scholarships and everything you need to know about this MBA. So first, Marcella, please, I will let you introduce yourself before we begin.
Hi, Anis. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be with you guys today. So my name is Marcella Rispo, as you said, and I am recruitment admissions advisor responsible for the Western Europe region.
Okay, great. So we know that IMD is a top MBA program in Europe, but we have a lot of MBA programs, competitive MBA programs in Europe, like INSEAD, HEC, LBS, IESE, and others. I want to know really what differentiates IMD from others. Why would someone choose IMD over other schools? What differentiates your school?
Okay, it's true. In Europe, we have quite a lot of schools competing with each other. But for us at IMD, I mean, we are located in Lausanne, in Switzerland. So it's a different atmosphere already that you're signing up for. And also, we really focus on three main things: developing that reflective and responsible leadership, experiential learning, so very hands-on learning. So during your 10-month program, you'll be really putting into practice a lot of the theory that you learn. And then, of course, that personalized, intimate attention, since we are a very small program. We have around 100 and a little bit more, a little bit less students, but it really still is that very small feel where we know each other. It's a very family community kind of feel to the program.
Okay, can we elaborate more on each of these three main points?
Absolutely. So the reflective and responsible leadership at IMD, I don't know how much you all know about IMD, but it's a school really that has been, that really dedicates the whole of it, all the programs that we offer in developing leadership. I mean, we were born out of industry, out of Nestle, as a training center for its managers, and our focus really is always on developing those leadership qualities. So really, it's a transformational program, our MBA. It really transforms the way you lead and kind of develops that reflective and that responsible leadership part that you have inside. Okay. The experiential part is about hands-on. So we have a lot of projects during the year. There's startup projects, the international consulting projects, the discovery expedition, which, yes, it means you going visiting different countries, but it's not educational tourism. It really is visiting countries, networking with alums, following a theme that you see develop in that country. There's project work while you're there during the trips as well. And then I said intimate and personalized, because with a small class, we actually get to know you very well. We follow your journey through you'll be assigned individual coaches. There are also, of course, group coaches under the leadership stream. I refer back to that. We have what we call the PDEs, so personal development electives. So these are analysts that are also assigned to you. So there's a lot of attention that goes to the individual, whether it's for your leadership development or, of course, for your career development, where you also have an advisor to see you through the process.
Okay. So great, thank you. So I know that at IMD you have a different admission process if we compare to other business schools. I want to know everything concerning this admission process. I want you to tell me more about the essays and also the interviews, the different types of interviews or assessment you have at IMD. What's the difference between the different type of interviews?
Okay, so really go into the nitty-gritty. You want to really show our audience what they have to prepare, what they have to what they have, what is in store for them. But I'm not going to give away all the secrets. So be ready for that.
Okay.
So as you see on the website, we have minimum requirements. So anyone who has a GMAT, we have an average of 680. So please, aim for that or higher. Minimum 2 years work experience, some form of international experience, and some form of career progression. So those of you who have those can apply. How do you apply? You have two routes. You have the route where you send in your application form on the 15th almost on the 15th of every month. It's the usual process. You send in your application form. There's going to be an essay, one recommender, and then the usual fields to fill in. Also, letting us know what kind of career goals you're thinking about at this stage in your life. And of course, your financials. Now, that process takes a couple of weeks before you hear back from us, and then we schedule you for an assessment day. An assessment day, combination of online, and for the first time next week, we're going to have an on-campus assessment day, so back to pre-COVID days, where you will be put through a series of exercises, mostly in the mornings. With the online assessment days, they're also in the afternoons, so that we can cover the different time zones. And so you'll be exposed to a series of exercises in group as well as individual. For the on-campus ones, you'll have lunch with the MBAs, and you have also the opportunity to sit in a class with the professors. After that, so after the activities for the online and after the class for the on campus, you will then be interviewed by a member of the recruitment admissions team for about half an hour. And that's really where we would like to know a little bit more about you. What makes you tick? How open-minded are you? How curious are you to see what how you develop, how you transform through the process? In a way, you said what do we look for in a profile? And I think we look for that. We want to see that you're really convinced about giving yourself over to the process of transformation, and seeing what comes up in the end, with showing openness, open-mindedness, curiosity, and kind of trust in the process that we've put together. So that's the normal process. Then we have the challenges. So challenges are a bit sort of more dynamic, kind of quick, kind of a kind of feel to it. You apply a little bit of a more simplified form, and then you will be put together on a day with all the other applicants in normally quite big groups, a big group that is then divided into subgroups, which then go through the innovation process to come up with a product at the end. And then, although you work together in a team, because that's also one of the things that we're looking for, we're looking for your analytical abilities, we're looking for your communication abilities, we're looking for your teamwork abilities. But at the end, in the challenges, there will be a winner with a scholarship of 40,000 francs attached to it. So these are the two ways to apply at IMD. In terms of exactly what we're looking for example, in the essay, as you were saying, I would consider that we look for that part where we think reflective and responsible. So that maturity. So make sure that the event, the story that you decide to describe, yes, it's very well written. So make sure that you have somebody check your English if that's not your first language. Make sure that it's very concise. There's not a lot of space for the essay. But within it, it shows us how you're able, or you have been able to learn from your mistakes, perhaps, or mature according to the experience that you're referring to us.
Okay. Great. So we're gonna dig deeper. First, you told me about a series of exercises.
I'm not going to tell you anything, Alice. Oh, no.
No, I don't want details. Just what type of exercises should someone expect? Is it going to be math, business, cases?
Okay, so at IMD, and I'm sure in many business schools, you don't get just one profile. Sometimes we have people from marketing, we've had people from the military, we've had people from doctors. So we don't want to make it difficult in order to exclude anyone. So in a way, these are exercises that anyone can do, but we are looking for those analytical capacities, those analytical qualities. We're also looking for your communication style, like I said before, and your ability to work in a team. So the exercises that we've put together, although you don't need to prepare anything, they will combine so that we can observe these qualities in you.
Okay, great. So now, if someone came to you and asked you, Marcella, you have two different types of assessment. Which one is the right one for me? So
okay, well, that's how do you choose?
Yeah, how do you choose? Exactly.
How do you choose? So the first thing that I would do is start asking the main question: when am I ready? How ready am I? Because there's no point in applying to the challenge. For example, there's a deadline coming up on the 15th of May.
How many challenges do you have per year?
We have 3 challenges. We have 2 for women leaders and 1 for young leaders. So the next one is coming up for young leaders on the 15th of May. If you're not ready, don't apply. If you don't have your GMAT in order, or even if you don't have the GMAT, you can apply. But at least if you have a date in sight that isn't too far off the deadline. If you haven't really thought about this that much, don't just apply. So first and foremost, ask yourself that question: am I ready? Once you understand if you're ready or not, then I think the question is, in what kind of environment do I thrive? So the assessment days, in the normal procedure, so to speak, are more sort of, how do you say? Pardon?
Classic, maybe.
Yeah, they're classic, and they're sort of, one step at a time. Then, you send in your application form, then you wait, and then you get called in for an interview or for an assessment day. Then you wait, then you have your assessment day. It's kind of, it has a little bit of a process to it. And in steps to it. With the assessment challenge already, the way it's done is it's a little bit quicker. It's, yes, you send in your application, then it's going to be read. Then the day, you already know which day it is, everybody on the same day. Whereas with the other one, you choose your dates, you have options of the morning slot, the afternoon slot. Whereas the other one is bang, 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 and then you're in the day, and it's a whole. For example, the last one we had was a whole afternoon's worth of challenge, team against team. So you're quick. You've got 10 minutes for this, and then you have 10 minutes for the next step, and then another 20 minutes, and then you've got to do this, and then at the end, it's done. The next day, we will shortlist a few of you, interview you, and then a few days after that, max a week, we will then announce the winner of the challenge with the 40,000. So it's a little bit
for someone competitive and who wants to get a scholarship, it's better to wait, right? Not to just apply for
I wouldn't say that if you go to the challenge, you don't get a scholarship. I wouldn't phrase it like that. Scholarships are for the usual route as well as for the challenge. It's for the challenge, the winner gets 40,000, but there will be offers that will follow the challenge as well for others. We have also awarded scholarships for those that didn't win. Of course, they're not to the extent of the winners. They're not the 40,000 scholarship. Yeah. For the normal process, same thing. You're still against, you're still being assessed within the pool of applicants and those of your assessment day. So it is still competitive. We still want to see you at work, but at the same time, there's no sort of working together for a project in the end, as there's with the assessment challenge. Mm. But scholarships, and can we talk about scholarships already? Since I'm
not now. At the end.
At the end. Okay.
Yeah, at the end. Just I want to know, using the normal process, can he still get 40,000 or not?
So the range of scholarships for the process is between 10 and 50,000.
Okay.
So, but
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
but the thing is, they're also awarded, and that's why I wanted to speak to scholarship, because the answer is not so simple. Yes, you can get scholarships for the normal process, but then there are different types of scholarships.
Okay. Let's talk
And so that's why,
about scholarships
yeah,
at the end. Let's leave
later.
it till the
Okay.
end. Okay. So very clear concerning the application, concerning the assessments. So now let's talk in terms of GMAT. The average is
Yeah.
680.
Yeah.
But do you accept like GMAT 620, 600, 650? It depends on the profile. Maybe it depends on the nationality. I
Yeah.
don't know. So tell me, what are the factors?
Influencing. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah. So of course, so we kind of say at least it has to be above 600. I mean,
Mm.
it has to be above 600. Our average is 680. So we do want to keep that average, and we always want to strive to improve that average anyway. So always aim high anyway. Now, it's true that we do know that there are differences, there are cultural differences, and there are also sometimes there are you might come from a field that isn't necessarily, for example, as a doctor or military, so you're not really in the same in the same mindset or in the same frame of mind as perhaps if you come from the more maybe accountancy, or you've done business already. So there are exceptions or there are things that we consider when looking at the GMAT score. On the other hand, it's also true that if you want one of the merit scholarships, the higher the GMAT, the higher the chances of you to be awarded one, since it's based on merit. The other thing also, we're looking at the quants and the difference between the quant and the verbal. How are you at speaking English? Is it, once we see you in an interview, we'll also assess your level of English. For us, the GMAT, let's not forget, is an indication that you'll be able to follow the program, because with such a short program, we don't have there is no time for you to catch up. So it kind of indicates that we use it a little bit as a measure to reassure us that you'll be able to follow the program.
Okay, great, very clear. Now, I have a question. So when you go to the website of IMD and you download the report, employment report, you have very good salaries, by the way, post MBA. But something, when I read it, I see the companies and everything. I see that you are more focused on industry and not on consulting and finance. When we compare to other schools focus more consulting, finance, and then industry. IMD is a bit different because we see a big part for the industry and a small part for consulting and for finance. If someone wants to do finance or consulting, do you recommend him IMD, or IMD is the hub for those who wants to a managerial position in big companies, industrial companies?
So I wouldn't. At IMD, we don't like to say it like that, because this is where I go back to that intimate and personalized. You'll have an advisor that advises you all the way throughout your career development. We call it Career Development Center. And that advisor will work with you to see what is best for you as a next step. It's true that we have a strong presence in industry. As I said, IMD is born out of industry, and we still have a very strong tie with industry. However, instead of choosing IMD because of industry rather than consulting, I would choose IMD because it's the right experience for you. It's the right leadership development program for you. Those people that wanted to go into finance and consulting, we have managed to help them through to the next step in their career. If you look at some of our alums, they also have used the stepping stone of consulting. I'm thinking about an alum who's a doctor. He then went to McKinsey for a couple of years and then is now head of the EMEA region sales in a company that sells medical devices. So again, was able to go into consulting, even though he was coming from the medical profession. He's a hand surgeon. So I wouldn't necessarily choose it that way.
Okay, great.
And if you have, and sorry, Anis, if I can add, if there are ever any doubts as to whether IMD is the right school for you or not because of your career choices, the one thing that I would do is to reach out to one of us, the regional advisors, so that they can put you in touch with an alum who has done the similar switch that you're looking for, or the similar jump or change, or the similar career move that you're looking to do.
Okay, great. So in terms of admission, the last question, I know there's a lot of factors that influence your decision. You have the GMAT, the career progression, the transcripts, interviews, essays, everything. I want you to tell me what are the three main factors that you focus on to decide whether a candidate is good or not. So what are the three main things we look into first? I know there is a lot of factors that are important.
That's a difficult question, Anis, because I think the first thing we'll look at their CV, we'll look at their career journey. What does it make sense? Yeah, the professional experience. What have they done in those 2 years or 3 or 4 or 5, however many years they have of work experience? What have they done? Of course, we do look at the GMAT. What's the indication? We are looking for those analytical skills. They still are important. And at the same time, we're also looking at what will that person bring to the class. Remember, we have a small class with only about 100 people. It's very important that each one contributes in a unique and enriching way to the experience, to the class. And to keep that diversity high, we also have to compare the pool. So we do not want too many of the same professional background, for example, because that would not be enriching to the class. So it is a little bit of a juggle between what we look for when we look at profiles.
Okay, so professional experience. So
professional experience,
GMAT,
and the GMAT, and what they would contribute. They would contribute to the class. And also, I think I know you said 3, but I'm going to give you 4. It's the career goal. Does it make sense? Is it consistent with what they've done? With why and why do they want to do what comes next? Have they thought about it? For me, that's also something that I certainly give a lot of weight to.
Okay, great. So let's move now to the last part of our interview. So the scholarship, it's very important topic. We've talked a bit earlier, and now I want you to tell me everything about scholarships, how to get a scholarship at IMD, what are the chances, and what should someone do to get this scholarship.
Okay, so as we said before, you apply to the program. What we want to see is that your life, your professional life, and before and after makes sense. So for me, that also means that you've really thought about thoroughly that the MBA is the next step for you. So that motivation for me is very important. And how and why is that tied to scholarship? Because I think the scholarship is really an opportunity, or is a way that the admissions and the finance committee, they support your dream. They support this next step. So make sure that you show the admissions committee that this is what this is an important next step, and that IMD is the important next school. It is the school where you need to you will develop yourself and be able to achieve your next goal. So that motivation for me already signals to the admissions and finance committee that you are the right person for the school. Once that is established, then the scholarships fall into 3 buckets. So we have the merit scholarship, and that's what I was saying. If you have a high GMAT, if your GPAs are high, if your professional experience shows, career progression, achievements, if you merit that scholarship on paper, and you show also that IMD is the right school for you, then I think that signals quite a strong, that gives quite a strong message to the admissions committee that they can support you with a merit scholarship for which you do not apply. In the application form, there is a section about financing. So it's important that you state that receiving help, financial help, is important for you. So that with that, the merit scholarships, the admissions committee knows to whom award those. Then we have the financial need scholarships. The financial need scholarships, again, are based on how the title says, on your financials, on your financials. So we will ask you to show, to tell us a little bit about your financial situations, whether you have, how much you earn, for example, your tax return from last year, do you have any savings, and so on. And based on that information, again, the finance committee will award you a scholarship or not. So you sort of apply for this one, you do need to apply, but again, the finance committee will decide. And then there are the external donors scholarship, and they have, and again, look at the website because it's all explained, but the external donors have different deadlines, have different requirements. Some of them have essays that you need to write in order to apply to their scholarships. So it isn't it's not the IMD finance committee, but it's the committee of the external board of that, whether it's a foundation or whether it's an association and so forth.
Okay.
So in a way, so let me just summarize. In a way, you don't really apply to a particular scholarship. You signal that you're interested, and the stronger the application, the stronger, the higher the GMAT, the stronger your achievements, the stronger the message is, please help in this dream of mine. With the financial need, you'll need to prove that it really would be difficult for you to start this journey without some financial help. And the external ones, really, it's about showing your motivation, how IMD might again help you in what is coming. Some also have specific essays that they want to know your opinion on, specific topics that they want to know your opinion on. But again, I would suggest that you look at the website for more details.
Okay, so how to prove that someone have some difficulties to get the need?
So there is a question. Yeah, there is a questionnaire. We'll ask you about your financials, basically.
Okay, so you ask questions, and he will.
Yeah. There's a
go
form.
and do more investigations, or just take the answers of the student.
Yeah, well, normally we trust that you'll be honest. But we also ask you for your tax return. So you can't. Yeah. Normally you don't lie. Normally you don't lie on that.
Yeah, exactly. So and a candidate could get the 3 scholarships, or it's only 1 scholarship? Let's say he is excellent and he is in need, and
yeah. So no, it will be the admissions committee that will decide which scholarship to give you, and it will be the amount. You can't accumulate scholarships, but you'll be awarded the highest scholarship from the finance committee.
Is it easy to get a scholarship, or only for?
So I think we had last year. Yeah, last year I think we had about half the class with a scholarship. So I wouldn't say it's easy, but I would say that we do like to encourage as much diversity as possible to have the opportunity to join the MBA program.
Okay. Great. So now concerning the financing of the MBA. We know that we have some banks like Prodigy. They can give you some loans with high interest rate. It could be interesting for some people. Is there any other options in Switzerland the banks might give
so we have
or not?
Yeah, we're working together with a really cool startup, but now it's very established. We've been working with them quite a few years. It's called Splendid, and it's like a crowdfunding loan platform, if I can say it like that.
Yeah.
So basically, you put your profile up and you say, I'm looking for so much, such an amount, and then people invest in you, and the interest rates differ. You can choose as a person who invests in your education, what kind of interest rates you're looking to have. So I would definitely look into those. But again, we are constantly on the lookout for better ways to finance MBAs, an MBA. We also sometimes have institutions in some countries that offer preferential rates if you study abroad. So as usual, I would just say, look at our website because we update it constantly. We also have admissions and finance chats regularly each month, where we come up with tips and really specific tips on both admissions and also how to finance your MBA, and also really research in your country of residence if there are any foundations or institutions or sometimes banks that offer preferential rates if you study abroad, for example.
Okay, great. That's it for today. Thank you so much for your time, Marcella. It was a pleasure to interview you. I will leave your email address in the description of this video for those who are interested in contacting Marcella. You can contact her by email. And for those who are interested in the GMAT preparation or essay preparation, you can contact me. I will leave my number and my email in the description of this video. Thank you again, Marcella, and see you in another video. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.